Again, we are righting the wrongs of the last Road to Elite playthrough. We are showing up, we're showing out, and we're going to win the world title and every other title in this company. We will have done everything in this business. It'll be fantastic. Alright, let's fucking go. You know? Oh, wait. I need to... I need to turn off the fucking jukebox. Because otherwise it's gonna... Otherwise it's gonna fucking, Otherwise it's gonna get me. Can't do it. But you know what we can do? It's Friday night and you know what that means. It's time for another Giraffe Step stream, boy. You know what that means? We can do this. It's just like Here Comes the Pain. Where's the guy? So who the fuck did I even give the world title to? Did I give it to Moxley? Yep, yeah, I did. Alright, Long Boy Gira, let's fucking go, dude. No, the yellow shades are gross. The yellow shades are gross. The yellow shades are mad nasty. I don't know, it's vegetarian. It's vegetarian. What kind of personality is he? Like, he has to be an enigma, right? I don't even remember, like, what all this is here. I'd imagine that this is, like, just kind of an aesthetic stuff. But let's see it. Let's see it again. I find it funny that WWE never experimented in the amusement park business. Can you imagine what kind of wrestler-themed rides there'd be? Maybe a Undertaker roller coaster. I could see, like, a Universal-style thing for the Undertaker, frankly. Alright, it is time to right the wrongs. Now listen, this is all flashback footage. This is all a flashback, okay? Gira's remembering his first contact with the con man. Tony Khan, it's Long Boy Gira. Sorry I missed your call. I listened to your voicemail. He's remembering all this vividly. Thinking about where he's come from. Thinking about what could have been. He's been here a whole year, and he's failed to reach the heights. And he's failed to reach the heights of where he was in WWE. At Double or Nothing, All Elite Wrestling will show what we can do better than anyone else. Now, I'd like to introduce a participant in the Casino Battle Royal match, Long Boy Gira. Thank you, Matt. I'm proud to be a part of this momentous occasion in the history of not just AEW, but all of pro wrestling. I'm not exactly sure why I was brought here, or even what I'll do. Nah, you know. You've been here a whole year. Although at this point, you probably don't even remember what you were here for. The New Day Flying Pancakes, right? Now that sounds like it would be a fucking, now that sounds like it would be a, a ride I want to go on. Hulk Hogan's Rock and Roller Coaster. Oh, no. Let's see. There has to be something on, like, I'm trying to think of, like, the larger-than-life stuff that we're seeing right now. Or just kind of stuff that we've seen over time. What would an Attitude Era ride look like? That feels like something you wouldn't want to take your kid on. Right?
The wait is over. You're watching All Elite Wrestling's Double or Nothing live from Las Vegas.
And I'm just as sleepy as I was last year.
High-stakes, Vegas-themed casino battle royal match.
A boat ride like It's a Small World, but themed after Bray Wyatt. Oh my god, and you could like literally take like the visuals of that one area in 2K20 and just like have that be like the aesthetic that you go for. That'd be so dumb. I want that. Okay, so I think that no matter what, you end up going in first. Yep. Now listen, chat. It does not matter how long this takes us. We are doing this the way that we are supposed to do it. And that's we're going to win the Casino Battle Royal and we're going to become the AEW World Champion, okay? That's what's going to happen. Oh my god, I can still do this. I forgot all about this. Look at all the multicolored spotlights. Hey, I didn't see you at all in the last playthrough. I didn't see Andrade at all in the last playthrough. This is really weird. Okay, I need to remember how to play the game. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is how you do it. Yeah? Okay, square's a strike. Hold on a sec. I'm gonna turn on some music. Okay, there you go. Oh my god, it's actually, dude, it's so good to play a game with a bit of speed again. I've been playing fucking 2K20 for like a while now, and to think that, holy shit, Malachi's already like getting guys out of here. I just keep doing my moonsault onto him. Okay, circle is running. Got it. Woo, nice. Also, we have an ad break coming up. Hold on, I can snooze it. I can snooze it one time. Ooh. Gear has forgotten all his offense. It is now just foot biting and moonsaults. Okay, I need to remember how to play the game. Ooh, that was actually kind of sick. Oh, damn. No. No. We are here to win this shit. We will accept nothing short of the best here. Nice neck breaker. Okay, R1 is getting them up. Shit. No. No. Arm drag. You up. But no, I could definitely see that there could probably... Oh, hey. Yeah, baby. Cool. No. Did you know that the grandma from Hey Arnold is going to be a playable fighter in Nick All-Stars 2? There's a lot of, like, new sort of playable characters in, like, the new, like, Nick All-Stars. That seem just really kind of strange. Like, I know Squidward's in there. I know that Plankton was added. I saw that one of the moves that he has is, like, literally just, like, a play-on from his failed magic trick in that in that one episode. The Shiakazi! And then he, like, claps his hands. It's like, well, this stinks. Like, they're just doubling down on the fan service now. Or, like, some other ones that are being added. Is Jimmy Neutron being added? I believe I saw Jimmy. And, of course, Garfield's front and center, so you know it's gonna be a fucking fantastic game. He's no longer DLC, he's part of the main cast, as he should be. Listen, he has the main character energy. It's about time they started treating him with it. So is Azula. That's also a good get, yeah. I did not play the first All-Stars when it came out. Oh yeah, the Savannah Special! Okay. Okay, get him up. Fuck your favorite. I'm your favorite now. No, dude! Dude, he's on the ropes. Focus on him. Focus on the man that you have on the ropes. Fine, you know what? Take that. I'm still trying to think about, like, universal rides that wouldn't be sort of bad as, as WWE themed. Dinkelberg? For a Nickelodeon All-Stars, too. Alright, hold on a second. The music's a little too loud. I can't really hear myself think, chat. Give me a second. There we go. It is now of a volume in where I can hear myself think and be able to talk in complete sentences. I can now finally learn to speak again. My dude, they really need to just put... Dude, just drop all pretenses and put John Arbuckle in, like, Nick All-Stars, too. Ultimate Warrior Rocket. You fucking go to the... You fucking go on the rocket ship in his promo. Oh, no. No, you know what? They need to have something on the Macho Man. He is way too over the top to not have a ride based on him. You know? He's way too over the top to not have a ride based on him. Way too larger than life. What the fuck? I'm woozy. I'm still woozy, chat. What's happening? Stop! Fuck you, Matt. Take this. Get clapped on. Macho Mountain of Madness roller coaster. Oh, you're so right. You are so right, dude. No, there's Matt. Get him. Get him. Get him. Get him. Get him. No, wait, the Macho Horn. The roller coasters just need to be like giant Slim Jims. What would the Dusty Rhodes roller coaster, or rather ride, be called? Hard Times with Dusty Rhodes. Ah! No! No! Get up there! No! No! You have to bring the American roller coaster to life, dude. You have to complete the joke. Create the roller coaster and have it be based off of Cody Rhodes. And just have it be like a career retrospective. I don't know, try to get some fucking of AEW footage in there too while you're at it. No, do not pin him. This is not a pinfall match. The Kingdom Climber ride. Roller Coaster Kingdom. Oh, it would be so good though. It'd be so based. It would actually be peak. Fucking hit him! Which WWE superstar do you think would have their own bumper cars? Stone Cold. If not for the simple idea of just having the really... Listen, it's right there. I'm not saying they should do it. I'm just saying, ow. I'm just saying it's right there. Every time you hit the bumper cars, it says, what? That'll finally get people to stop chanting that. Instead, they'll associate it with the bumper cars. And of course, every bumper car needs to be like a skull, right? Austin 316 says, I just bumped your ass. No fooling. Alright. Oh, okay. Okay, Johnny Hungy. Hey! No! Fuck you, Christian. What the hell? How do you already have your thing? How do you already have your thing, Trent? But no, like, it has to be, like, Stone Cold. Or rather, no. It has to be called Steve Austin Stone Cold Cars. Or simply Stone Cold Bumper Cars. Again, it'll finally get people to stop chanting it. I don't know why I'm going after Dustin Rhodes specifically, but I guess I am. Hey, you! Hit your finishing on him! The McMahon corporate ladder rider.
Hello, Mario.
Ah, yes. Now you too can feel the pain of getting fired when you have a match. Hey there, Sax. How you doing? Stev, this is important. What is... Sax, what is it? What's important? What's so important? The splits? Christian, why? I'm gonna raid you, but can I please join your call? Sure, but like, listen. I have an ad break about to happen, okay? It's gonna last like 90 seconds. I'll let you know when it's done, okay? Because our raid message I created won't fit in Twitch's character limit. Which one would have a Ferris wheel? Kane. And like in the center, it would be his mask, right? I still want to read it to you. Okay, but like, wait. First off, I need to see if like the new thing I installed works. Oh wait, okay. Ad, I swear to God, you gotta fucking begin, dude. You gotta get your shit in. Kane's fiery Ferris wheel. You have to make like a little indent, right? You have to make like a little slope under there so that like it recedes, so that like the bottom carts recede
it's
into the ground.
It's time for percent ad length percent second Cheetos break, my dudes.
Well, that didn't really work out as I wanted to. Anyways, Raw rolls on. Ain't it funny when you try to set up like a fucking API thing and it just doesn't do it? Miro, stop your fucking music. Thank you. There. I know it's gonna be 90 seconds. I know it's just gonna be 90 seconds every time. So that's fine. Anyways, ad break here in just a second. But no, like the fucking Ferris wheel, it has to like recede into the ground. Like when you go down, right? And it needs to have like paper flames. It needs to have like shitty little paper flames, or like the little kind of or like the little kind of just like cheap props that are like blown up by like little air blowers, right? In order to like simulate that you're going to hell. I'd pay money to go on that. I'd pay money for that shit. Anyways, welcome back to Raw. Sax, yes, you may go ahead and join my call here. In fact, I need to call you because I'm not really in a call. I'm just kind of vibing on my own right now. Where are you? I'll call you. Let me in. Okay, I'm calling. Bray Wyatt, let me in. Sax.
Step. Okay, hold on. Let me launch my raid.
Okay.
Let me launch it.
Okay.
And also I need to, oh my gosh, I needed to mute. Okay. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Raid now. All right. So we're raiding. Okay, everyone. Behold. Also, I'm behind your son.
Hello, Mario.
Rainbow Dash Math.
Yeah.
Hello, Mario.
Okay.
You know, they say all ponies are created equal, but you look at me, and you've got lightning dust, and you can see that statement is not true.
Oh my god.
See, normally, if you go one-on-one with another flyer, you got a 50-50 chance of winning. But I'm a genetic freak, and I'm not normal. So you got a 25% at
Hello,
best
Mario.
at beating me. And then you add Twilight Sparkle to the mix, the chances of you winning go drastically down. See, at the sacrifice, you got a 33 and a third chance of winning. But I got a 66 and 2/3 chance of winning because Twilight knows she can't beat me, and she's not even gonna try. So Lightning Dust, you take your 33 and a third chance minus my 25% chance, and you got an 8 and a third chance of winning at Sacrifice Flyers competition. But then you take my 75% chance of winning if we was to go one-on-one, and then add 66 and 2/3%. I got a 141 2/3 chance of winning at Sacrifice. Lightning, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you at Sacrifice.
Senorita Lightning, the numbers don't lie. Add my 66 and 2/3 percent. I got 141 and 2/3 chance of doing a birthday
Hello,
stream on
Mario.
October 2nd.
Hell yeah, gamers! Listen, I want you to realize I spent like 10 minutes making that, only to find out it won't fit in Twitch's fucking character limit.
Are you
And so I was like,
serious?
no, I need to fucking read this out.
That's so shit. Hi.
Oh.
Hi, Raiders, by the way. I'm Giraffe7. I'm the president of the Longway Club, the very large enjoyer of all things gaming, wrestling, other hyperfixations, and my stinky cat. And also, I'm an enjoyer of a sax pony right here. She's very, very cool. You people in chat, you people, should go follow her. She's very cool, and she's very nice.
I certainly try to be. And I actually just wrapped up my stream, as you saw, as I told you, as I'm
Yes.
rating you. All I did was I drew I just made a costume for my avatar for Halloween,
Let me
for October.
let me get a better look at her. Give me a second.
Oh,
get a
this
better look.
this isn't the one I drew, but yes, I am wearing spoopy stuff right now because, well, I like spoopy stuff.
It is very adorable. I love it.
Thank you.
I'm a large fan.
Perhaps even a long fan.
I'm a long fan. Long time fan. I'm a long time fan.
Yeah, so I just when I had to read it out to you.
You know what? I appreciate you doing that. That's really fun. I like that. Cool.
All right. Well, I am gonna go because I need to get some food and then just wind down for the night. But I wanted to raid and leave you with that wonderful, wonderful thing of Rainbow Dash Math.
Fantastic. I appreciate that. That's
And admit it,
fantastic.
like of all the ponies to do the Steiner math thing, it would be Rainbow Dash.
Really would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I can, you know, it's been a long time since I've even seen the episode that you're referencing. I mean, like, I know it's season 3, and we're about to watch season 3 in my Discord server.
Oh
So-
yeah, with the Wonderbolts Academy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
I plan on making my birthday stream just a big pony thing. It's going to
Hell
be just
yeah.
a big excuse for me to feed my new hyperfixation. So,
Based.
yeah, we're gonna be doing that, and yeah, it's
I
gonna be
look
fun.
forward to hanging out with you during.
Mm-hmm. But it sounds like you have places to be, though.
Oh yeah, tonight I do. I'm gonna be going over to our friends for some pizza.
That sounds awesome. Pizza sounds awesome. I had barbecue
Oh
tonight.
yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. Well, I am gonna go. You have fun. Enjoy knowing that Rainbow Dash is gonna win Sacrifice.
As she should. Wait, actually, given how she cut that promo and Scott Steiner didn't win at Sacrifice, that means that Lightning is gonna win.
Oh
So yeah, unfortunately,
no! Rip.
but
What have I done?
you screwed her over. Dash screwed Dash though. Dash screwed Dash.
That's true. All right. I will see you later, Steph.
Alrighty.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, chat.
Thank you for the raid. I appreciate it.
Of course. Ta-ta.
Bye. Alright, chat, you're stuck with me now. Aren't you happy? You get to hear me waffle on about wrestling for the next 3.5 hours. Aren't you just lucky? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. How's everyone doing tonight, by the way? Did you all enjoy Sax's stream? What did she do? What'd she do? Mods, if I have a mod in chat, can I please get a shout out for Sax? Art. Ooh. Oh yeah. Yeah, she fucking said that, didn't she? I have a small brain, okay? I have a very small brain when it comes to streaming and wrestling, or just really streaming in general. Like, there are just so many times where, like, I'll be paying attentively attention to something, right? Attentive attention to something, and it just won't click just 5 seconds later, you know? It doesn't matter how much I pay attention to it, it just doesn't stick. Anyways, tonight we are trying to win the AEW World Championship because the way that we won it in the playthrough that we did a few months ago, that shit don't count. Because for one thing, the match wasn't booked by the booker, and also, a year on, literally like less than a year on, and we don't even have the belt anymore. No one's keeping records of this stuff. It's like, we just have to take matters into our own hands, and we have to... What the hell? And we have to take matters into our own hands, and just do what we have to do. Ow. Damn it. We have to do what we have to do to make history. But yeah, chat, how are all of y'all doing tonight? I'm sorry, John Silver, but you are just the weak link in this pack. So you gotta go out next, bud. I'm sure one day you'll be able to defeat Rainbow Dash at Sacrifice. But not today. Eat my surfboard stretch. Eat my fucking surfboard stretch, bud. I just keep hitting him with the clothesline. Nice. Alright. Oh, no, yes, he's right there. Let's go. No! No! No, 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 no! No! No, 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 no! No! Okay. Okay. Jeez. Whew. Oh, that was about to be so dangerous. But no, that's the unfortunate part of being a streamer that also has some ADHD. Just like the moment you think of something, it's like gone the next. Ooh! A perfect play. No! No, 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 no! No! Okay. 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 Oh my goodness. But yeah, like I was talking about before, you know what, I'm gonna turn off the music here just for a hot second, just so I can talk to you. Like I said, I've been getting back into Pony again for like the first time in like 5 years. I really stopped liking it for like a long time, but I've recently been watching it again in my Discord server. By the way, I have a Discord server. You should join it. It's very fun, and we talk about wrestling, and we have weekly community nights, and in one of those community nights, we've been watching My Little Pony, and it's been very, very fun and very, very good and cool. No, not the Rings of Saturn! Wait, this doesn't even matter. The Rings of Saturn don't matter. What the fuck? No! 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 That's my finisher! That's my move! That is my move! That's my fucking move! No! No! Fuck off! No! Okay. Listen, we're going back. Back to the beginning with us. I don't accept that. Yes. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I know. I can tell. Injured? Come on. I literally... It was the first match and I get injured? I mean, at this point, Gira's like, what, 43, 45?
You're ready for your match.
He's most certainly been around the block a few times. No, we're saving and we're quitting and then we're fucking... Okay. Ow!
I salute my fallen enemy!
It just makes me think of, like, the thing that Creepshow sent me the other night. It's like a video that's like, this is MF Doom. And it takes, like, an AI-generated, a thing of his voice. Here, I'll just... You know what? I will just show you the thing. I'll just show you the thing right now. I'll show you it, because it really, really made me laugh last night. Now let it be known, I only know about MF Doom from Gorillaz. Like, I've not heard much of his music at all. But based on what I have heard from that Gorillaz song, this is accurate.
Keep hearing these strange sounds come up in the kitchen. Holy shit. It's the Slender Man. He's cooking hot dogs on the skull.
I just love how low quality it is.
Stop raiding our refrigerator. Yikes. He just whacked me with the warm wiener. Twice. Wait, you ain't got no lips. How can you eat potato chips? God, knock it off, you skinny son of a bitch. Quit stealing our food and go buy a frickin'
sandwich.
You phony bastard. Look at this place. It's a disaster.
Listen, he spends like a third of November has come rapping about coffee. So I would, so you know what? I would say that this is it right here. I love the idea that even when he's alone at his home, he just speaks in nursery rhyme. It's a very fun visual. Sitting down on the toilet. I really hope I don't soil it. Where the fuck is Gira? There he is. Get back in there, you injury-prone dickhead. I don't really need play hints. What I need is to get in there and win the casino battle royal, finally. But yeah, I've been putting together, my 24th birthday stream, and Triple H could hit the long flume ride, the Triple H triple splashdown, rather like the log ride. I could see that. Look at this place. It's a disaster. Alright, this time will be different.
The goal was to put 10,000 people.
This time's gonna be different, chat. We know what to expect. I'm excited to announce Longboy Gira, one of the hottest talents. Again, he's just reminiscing this. He's remembering where he's come from. He's remembering who he is. He knows what he has to do in order to be the best. All he has to do is reach up, grab the brass ring, and yank it down as hard as he can.
The wait is over. You're watching All Elite Wrestling's double.
Treat it like the lips of life. Live from Las Vegas once again. It is 2020, I guess? Judging from, you know, the outlook of like when this career mode takes place. I will say though, oh, MJF. Okay. What the fuck? I can't prep for that, Max. You know what? Arm drag takedown. Monkey flip. I'll do some flippy dippy indie shit on you, boy. What are you at this point? Like 23? You're literally my age at this point. Which, you know what? I gotta say, it's really, really weird to think that one of like the biggest stars in wrestling now, probably like the biggest star outside of WWE, is like only a little older than me. Those are some fucking goals. Cornette fears fun. I genuinely do think he does. I have a coworker that listens to Cornette's podcast, and he says that he doesn't really identify with his viewpoints. He just enjoys like how he kind of freaks out sometimes. Like, he's a big fan of Orange Cassidy, of my coworker, not Jim Cornette. Although I do have to say that it's very, very funny how, like, famously, like, one of the most goofy wrestlers of his time period, or rather, like, the most goofy personalities in the business during his time period, is just so, like, avidly against people like Cassidy. Like, you would think that people like him would be straight up his alley, right? Get him! What? You know what? Jukes. Get out of here. I got him. Malachi's out here playing sorry. I'm over here playing 4D chess. They're putting chemicals in the water that turn our freaking wrestlers flippy dippy. I mean, I hate to be that guy, but... Take out the biggest dog in the yard. Can I please get him up, though? Is that something I can do? Oh, shoot knees. Can I get him up? No! No! Listen, what? No! Okay, Sammy. Sammy, get him. Sammy, get... Just one of you get each other, please. That's all I want out of you. Okay, good for you, Sammy. Good for you. Ooh, pillars. No! No! Look at him! Look at Jungle Boy! Look at Jungle Boy! He's gonna get back in! Oh, now I am crying a river. Really am crying a river now, chat. Shit. But no, like, I've been getting back into Pony again after a long time, and, the Discord watch-alongs, for me, are some of the most fun that I have on any given week. Take out the biggest dog in the yard, but Joe in Hawaii ain't part of AEW. Yet. Oh, man, I forgot. I can't really do winks with my model anymore. We were having issues with the eye, and we were just like, ah, fuck this. At least you aren't crying like an anime fan on... Oh, God, that's so old! That's so old! You know what? I literally had to explain that to my roommate, because up until I told him about it, he did not know that, like, that trailer existed. And, like, when he actually saw it, I still don't think that he quite believed it. You know? I don't think he really believed, like, something like that existed. Why, though? What is your problem, Sammy? I'm literally just over here, like, trying to do the thing you're trying to do. It's an oldie but a goodie. It's an oldie, alright. I remember when that, like, dropped, too. That was, like, in, what, 2015? God, is that how old it is? 2015? Is that how old it is, chat? I refuse to believe that, like, Mighty Number 9 didn't come out, like, 2 years ago. That thing's only, like, 2 years old, right? What the hell? The Eddie Guerrero thing? Ooh, yeah! Fine, you know what? One for you, too. Oh, wait, shit. No! One for you as well. But no, like, I still fucking remember, like, where I was. I was sitting in my high school, right? I had to have been, like, in probably a sophomore at this point, right? Either a sophomore or a freshman. And just like, why the hell is it doing it twice? Oh, you want to know why it's doing it twice? Probably, it's probably doing it twice because of like the fucking way that I have it set up in a streamer bot. So like, I'm gonna have to go back in there and I'm gonna have to mess around with that. But no, like, I was literally sitting in what had to have been like a homeroom at that point, right? And I saw the trailer come up. And like, I was sitting there and I showed it to like my friend. And I was just like, can you believe... Hey, look at this thing, can you believe it? My number 9 is basically the Lex Luger in WWF to Mega Man's Hulk Hogan. And it's really weird because like, for like a good bit there, people thought it was going to be the exact opposite. Like, a lot of people really thought that like, my number 9 like was going to be like a big successor, you know? Like, I distinctly remember like little fan comics before the game came out that were like Beck looking up to the sky. I believe that's what his name is. Of like Beck looking up to the sky, and like Mega Man looking down at him like the stars, like fucking Mufasa, and him being like, "It's your time now, son." And then within a couple years, it just became incredibly low-effort memes, and that's all you would say people make about my number 9. I don't know, just the shift is really fascinating to think about and look back on. It was one of the first of its kind to sort of do what it did in terms of just like, you know, indie games and stuff like that. But a lot of games really did kind of learn from its example, and that's, hey, we should do better than this. Ooh, chain wrestling. Nice. Nice. I'll pick him up. Man, Christian doesn't have to do anything and he already has his signature. He has his special now! He has his special now, dude! Oh yeah, Christian double team. Fuck! No! 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 Screw you! Ow! How about no? Don't do that. Ooh. Listen. Gira knows what he's all about. He's about leaving the opponents a quivering mess in the ring. He's about stiff strikes. He's about walking in and doing what needs to be done. And what needs to be done now is that history needs to be rightened. He may not have won it last year, but oh shit! But this year's gonna be different. Ow!
It's time for a 90 seconds Cheetos break, my dudes.
All right, Raw rolls on after this then. No, chat. Listen. What you're seeing right now is Gira at his weakest. Gira is at his weakest right now because he hasn't gotten over the sting of not winning the AEW title. He's not gotten over the sting of not winning any championships within his first year of being here. You know, he won like 4 championships within his first year of being in WWE, but this, not so much. Not so much this one. He has a chip on his shoulder, and he's looking to cash it in after so long. He's staring down the barrel of more than 2 decades in this business. He started on the indies in Long Boy Club Championship Wrestling. And he won their world title. He came in with so much fanfare. And then he would go on to be one of the biggest fucking stars in the entire wrestling business. But AEW's still the one that he hasn't scratched. He's got to scratch the surface off of that. He's got to scratch it. He's got to sniff it. And he's got to yank it as hard as he can to win the AEW World title. Anyways, welcome back to Raw, everyone. Welcome back to Raw. Let's go. Let's fucking go. You know, like, I've never even really played Mighty Number 9. I wanted to play it, like, when it was kind of coming out, but then I heard things from, like, you know, most people. and I just kind of slept on it. Oh, damn. Uh-oh. There you go.
Hello, Mario.
Hey, Zach. Welcome to tonight's meeting. Nice of you to join us. Let's fucking go ahead and let's just get Luchasaurus out of here. Hey, Christian, you gonna save your boy? Oh, wait, he's not your boy yet. Ooh. Nice. You know what, Pac? You're actually, like, the one I need to be focusing on. You're the one I need to be focusing on. What the Christian? I barely needed to... I barely even had to do anything. Oh, you know what? Ow! Ow! Kira has severe head trauma. No, like, I keep wanting to, like, talk about ponies, but I also keep getting distracted. Season 2 of Ponies has been an incredible treat. Watching it again after all this time, it really does just kind of show, like, where the show kind of changed in terms of just its... What the hell? In terms of its style, and in terms of just kind of, like, where it was kind of going. In terms of, like, the stories it wanted to tell, and in terms of, like, the general pacing and structure, and, like, who it wanted to appeal to. Because, like, yeah, to a very large extent, it was still for a younger set. And, you know, it was always going to be that, because at the end of the day, you still need to make sure that your 5-year-old sister, Susie, enjoys it, right? But... but especially, like, with episodes like Hurricane Fluttershy and, hold on a second. Oh, let me make sure I can fucking hit my finish on these guys. Ooh, forearms. Forearms. No, like, especially, like, with episodes like Hurricane Fluttershy and Lesson Zero and stuff like that. You can really tell that, like, things were getting to another gear. Like, I'm not gonna say it's, like, you know, the greatest thing ever written, but there's still a lot of the show that connects with me. Like, we watched Hurricane Fluttershy for once again, the first time in what had to have been at least 3 years. And I so fucking loved it. I so fucking loved it. If it is not my favorite episode of all time, it is certainly up there. It is definitely up there in the top 5, I would say. I could literally sit here for, like, at least 20 straight minutes telling you how much I really, really like it. All right. Ooh! Yes! Yes, the moment! The moment's here! The moment's here! He has 13 elims under his belt! We will fucking get that #1 victory royale! By the way, John Cena is going to be wrestling at Fastlane. I wasn't expecting that. Oh, that's going to be great. It's going to be fun. Oh, it's going to be fun. I wish we got that rumored episode where Fluttershy was supposed to be a dragon. When did that start being rumored? Because I don't remember that. See, like, I remember, like, individual episodes and stuff like that. But, like, I don't remember, like, fandom rumors and stuff like that. So. What I can say is my time with bronies has been significantly better now than it was back then. I don't know if it's just, like, sentiment or just me being, I don't know, dumb. Or if it's, like, really just the case. But, I don't know, just being a brony feels a lot more fun now. And a lot of the content creators in that sphere, a lot of them don't start shit as much as they used to. You know? Like, I remember when I was doing pony reviewing. That was a very just not fun space to be in for like a long time. I have no problem saying that like in hindsight. That is a time period that I don't really like to think about too much, but at the same time, it gave me a lot of people that I still consider friends to this day. Oh my god, we're gonna do it! We're gonna do it, chat! We're gonna do it! We're gonna do it! We're gonna fucking do it! We're gonna do it! It's like, what is Wardlow's finisher in this? Oh, I don't know. I also wish the Crustier Girls had been given a concrete ending like the main MLP series did. Oh yeah, like it wasn't really given some like that, was it? Oh no. Nah. Head damage. You're going over the top, bud. Let's go! Let's fucking go, chat! Yes! Yes, the second try! 6 stars! Rate that, Meltzer. Better than Okada in the Tokyo Dome. You heard it here first. Longboy Gira best of 20 other men, and he... Of course, that's a title which hasn't even crowned his inaugural champion yet. We'll figure... You know what? I don't even think that Gira's hallucinating. Rather, like, I don't think that he's, like, in a flashback. I just think that he's completely... At this point, he's completely off his rocker. He's just pretending that none of the other stuff has happened. This is... You know what? Last year was year 0. Now this is the real first year. This is the real first year. Holy shit, indeed. New year. New year. Hey, what are you talking about? This is the same year. Who's Cena wrestling at Fastlane? Yeah, that's right. I can't. Wait, what? So, like, I have a Snapshot album still, yes? Sightseeing, press conference. Oh! 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 Okay. Crowning the first AEW champion. Oh yeah, that's right. I did something with Powerhouse Hobbs. Sightseeing week 1. Well, you know what? I may as well take this moment to have some fucking food. No, like this isn't even accurate though. Dynamite wouldn't be a thing for like another few months. I hope you enjoyed your very large piece of pizza, Gira. Your AEW Championship match opponent is looking for very large guys to flatten you before your match at All Out. Oh yeah? Is that so? Thanks for the heads up. No problem. You can also thank me for this picture we're about to... Luchasaurus just comes up, holds you at gunpoint, and is like, selfie, please. Wait, what? I said selfie, please. What? What? What are you? What are you talking about? I need the likes! I need the likes on X! And I will get them by any means. And I will get them by any means necessary. She especially looks particularly horrified by it. She fucking knows how much her life is worth. It's worth 5 internet points. Which, when you come down to it, is worth about 10... is worth about 10 likes on X. The last thing they did with EQG was a Christmas special that were just shorts, kind of a lame thing to end things, TBH, no ending whatsoever. I think that's when they were just kind of like winding things down though, right? We need to watch the Christmas specials in July for like maximum comedy. Call it a conspiracy theory, but I always got this weird feeling that the Rainbow Rocks movie was actually a rejected script for Gem and the Holograms reboot that they decided to rebrand for Equestria Girls. My only thin source of evidence is that Gem is also owned by Hasbro and the Dazzlings feel like a stand-in for the Misfits. I mean, pop idols are not really like that like out there for something like Pony. I mean, they wouldn't even be like the last kind of musicians in the canon. Like you would have Countess in there. You would have Psy in canon, have an OC in the movie. If you really want to be funny with it, you could say Showstoppers too. Sightseeing. I could get more motivation, or I could play a minigame. Ah, yes, I love the PNG. Gear is already at the top of his field. It's just all the super kicks have, like, taken out all of the faculties in his mind. He can't see anything through the purple glasses. All he can see is more bones to break. Intense training, chat. That pizza gave him everything he needed. That pizza gave him all of the energy and strength that he needed. What the hell? Kingston? Hey, title match, you getting your sweat on? Ah, yeah, it's double world champion Eddie Kingston. Sure am. I've been around the block a few times. Let me tell you, nothing in life is certain, especially in pro wrestling. The road can get bumpy, you know? Well, lucky for me, I like bumpy. Thanks for the tip, Eddie. Yeah, you got it. Now, where's the pool? What? Okay. Alright. Well, you know what? While you're lounging, we're over here rising and fucking grinding. Observe. Momentum rate. Wait, no, we have to have the springboard offense. Walking or running towards the rope. Guardrail offense dive. Tope offense. Well, alright, just before touching the ropes, you press the button. Alright, got it. I don't really need energy, do I? What if I just do a light workout? Yeah, we'll just do a light workout here. It's when things were winding down, but still no ending for the spin-off. I don't think Hasbro cared enough to give one. Yeah, at this point, they probably didn't, no. I always found it odd that Sakura was never in anything Equestria Girls related, despite the fact that she had her own doll. Did they make like a version of her in that style and sell it like as a toy? If so, I never knew that. Yep, they did. Oh my god, how's it going?
We are sold out.
We are sold out.
This is episode number 1. The start of a revolution in pro wrestling. You better
Oh, by God, I live rent-free in Guerrero's head.
is jockeying for a top position.
I live rent-free in Guerrero's head, Taz. Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Is set for one.
Really? The very first match. And it's against Hobbs.
Making his way to the ring. L4.
We get all of the big... We get all the meat to start out.
And his opponent, Powerhouse.
Fucking hell, dude. Fine. Now this is the meat that you ordered. Russo lives rent-free in Cornette's head. I feel like they live rent-free in each other's head. Really? How the hell is it fair that he gets, like, a first attack buff when he can just attack before I do? Well, you know what? That's a trick, you see. It's not meant to be fair. It's meant to be exhilarating. And a challenge. And a challenge for Gira to finally fulfill his destiny. Let's keep up with the music here. Someone should write a slash fiction. That sounds hellish. No, thank you. I think I'm good on that one, Chief. Now watch the squash match. Just sent you the doll of her. Alright. Well, I'll take a look at it here in just a second. Wow! Record time. That was 4 fucking stars? It was a minute and a half. Wow. Gira's already outclassing them. He comes out of Dynamite with a big win, by God. You know what? I'm pretty high on that Gira fella. All I'm saying is I think I remember him from somewhere. But that'd be a lie, because, after all, I'm just the voices in his head. Speaking of, I like that song. I love voices in my head. Wrestler stats. Adds an additional finisher slot with each level increase. Oh, so that's more I can do. Also, I think Hasbro actually released the Crush Your Girls dolls of some of the G5 ponies. It's just an aesthetic to them. They don't have the heart that... They don't have the heart to say otherwise. Chain wrestling buff, first attack buff, rebound attack buff. You successfully perform a running attack following a rope rebound. Back against the wall buff. What are you gonna do when the odds are stacked against you? Back against the wall, gonna control. Okay, so now we're in LA. So what all can we get here? Because I'm not gonna lie, part of me wants to get some of these snapshots. part of me wants to get some of them. So we're gonna do that. So we gotta go on a talk show. #1 contender for the World Heavyweight title. What the hell? Okay. That really does look like my roommate's created character. We're here with 2 of the biggest stars in AEW, Britt Baker and Longboy Gira. I actually go by Dr. Britt Baker DMD, thanks. Oh, I see. So, Do you moonlight as a dentist or as a wrestler? I prefer to say I'm multifaceted, actually. And what about you, Gira? Any side gigs going on? You a plumber? Maybe a janitor? Dude, I literally have a concussion. A lover and a fighter. I'm both a lover and a fighter. Some want to kiss me, others want to punch me, but they all watch me. Yeah, you fucking tell them, dude. Great. Well, we wish you both luck it all out. Well, I'll be watching. Gira doesn't have sex, dude. Gira. Hold on. Gira's not one to have sex. Gira fucks. He fucks. What is this? I'm probably in the very tiny minority, but I would have loved to have seen Equestria Girls figures in the style of Figma or SH Figure Arts figure, or at the very least Equestria Girls Nendoroids. I mean, I know that you're a bit of a collector yourself, so I just don't have room for that sort of thing. Although I will say, wait, what's this? Oh, you fucking rat. I remember you. Idea, Paul Heyman as a Pony OC named Paul Haymare. And he has to have the receding hairline. He's got to have the receding hairline. Otherwise, it's not Paul Heyman. It's merely an imitation. Restaurants. Either that or I can do sightseeing. Or he'd be the advocate for Bob Bison. Hey, Mac, how you doing? We're back at this stuff again. The man called Sting on the beach called Venice. All is right with the world. Even though I'm not beach blonde and I don't wear much neon these days, Venice is still my hometown. Now let's take a picture on this beautiful day. It sure is beautiful, Steve. Can I call you that, or are we not on that basis yet? He looks like such a mark. I love him. You literally just look like you photobombed Sting. Also, it's going to be John Cena and TVA versus Jimmy Uso and Solo Sikoa at Fastlane because they attacked AJ Styles tonight and put him out. I'm doing alright. I'm eating and chilling. Pinkie Pie is an Undertaker parody called The Underbaker. Applejack would literally be called... She would literally be called Hangmare Apple Page. Wait. Yeah. Hangmare Apple Page. And much like Applejack in real life, she'd be a fan favorite. I don't know, man. The more... You know, I used to be an idiot, right? I used to be a dumbass. And I'll tell you why. I used to be an... What the hell is... What the hell? She just walked in the frame and that confused me for a second. Applejack using the buckshot lariat. Dude, it's the fucking buckshot lariat too! It's perfect! It's actually perfect. I don't know if she should have a hangman's noose, but it would be perfect. Just like, listen. I know that this part's gonna get yeeted into oblivion on YouTube. But there's absolutely no way that you can't hear this, right? You hear this. Like, that's the vibe, you know? Like, that right there is the vibe. Don't do this to me, Logan. What do you mean to you? I'm the one that has to figure it out. Do not claim me, Adam, please. I promise you're still in my top 2 favorites in AEW. Like, that's literally the vibe we're going for. And it seems like they're finally doing something like with Hangman again. At long last. Hold on just a second. Okay, there you go. I literally forgot I muted it. But no, Zach, what do you mean? I'm the one that has to deal with it.
The following contest is set for one fall.
I'm taking the heat on this one, alright?
Making his way to the ring. L4.
I remember in one of the MLP comics there was a wrestling issue, and one of the variant covers for said issue was Applejack as Hulk Hogan. That's a Nah, dude. Applejack as Hulk Hogan is a disservice. There's listen. Okay, listen. I need to tell... Applejack is the element of honesty. There's nothing honest about Hulk fucking Hogan. According to Hulk Hogan, he's a Time Lord. Andre the Giant is 700 pounds. He tried to play for bass in Metallica. And he imagined the ending to No Holds Barred in his head. He literally said, according to Applemania's, no! In my mind, Applejack is Adam Page. Okay? Okay? Because I like Adam Page. I don't like Hulk Hogan. I don't like it. Your rant has me legitimately laughing. There's nothing honest about Hulk Hogan, though. He is literally the opposite of the element of honesty. Whoever did that cover had no research. They don't know anything about the business, brother. They don't know anything about this business that we love so much. Good lord. I got really heated there. There's nothing. Listen. I mean it. Applejack and Hulk Hogan have nothing in common. You gotta take the heat, brother. To be fair though, with how stubborn she can be sometimes, I'd imagine there would need to be a bit of convincing before she puts anyone over, brother. I love Gira's offense. Remember when Hulk Hogan lied about that wrestling for that non-existent sick kid in Wembley? At the Wembley show he wasn't even at. He wrestled in Wembley Arena, but he didn't wrestle in Wembley Stadium. My favorite part, right, is that fictional kid that apparently died. That fictional kid that literally died. Sorry, apparently died. I mean, like, listen. In Hulk Hogan's mind, that kid literally died. But, you know, let's just say he didn't, alright? For the sake of argument. And the worst part is that Hulk Hogan lied about it in the song. My dude, the whole song was built on lies to begin with. The whole song itself is a fucking bullshit. All I'm saying is that the Iron Sheik was right. What'd you send me, Zach? What'd you send me? I don't even know what Ross said there. I don't know what he said. I don't know what he said there. What the? You're still standing, Gira, but my Monster Factory isn't done producing. After your match next week in Austin, you'll be easy prey for me, if you even make it to All Out. You're a lover and a fighter, huh? Nobody will love you once I show you what a loser you are. Hogan be gaslighting himself to thinking he's a saint. For real, though. For real? Chris Jericho with strong words for Long Boy Gira, who seems to have no response. Ah, by God, what awaits him in Austin? Gira didn't even get the chance to respond, though. How can you say he didn't have a chance to respond when he didn't even... Rather, like, he... How can you say that he didn't respond when he didn't even have a chance to? This is why I prefer Hulk Hogan, the character, over Terry. Well, yes. Just like, my favorite lie, and also my roommate's favorite lie, is the idea that Hulk Hogan is like a Time Lord. You're so exhausted from so much air travel. Cool. My dude, I beat him without breaking a sweat. Without breaking a sweat. Alright, sightseeing. Let's do sightseeing. Here we go. I think most people prefer Hulk Hogan the character over Terry the person. You and I went to war a couple weeks ago, now you're acting all buddy-buddy with me? My dude, that wasn't a war, that was a fucking siege of the castle. I ransacked you. It was the Applejack thing I sent you. Right, hold on. We're gonna do this first. We're gonna get the photo first before the break. It was purely business for me. It's like how I prefer Joe over Roman Reigns. Well, Roman Reigns is in a better position now than he was before, so there's that. Why were we doing like the fucking like George Steele thing? So, anything else? No, nothing more until the next one. Ow. Hi, Mom. Workout. We're doing an intense workout, baby. Ow!
It's time for a 90 seconds Cheetos break, my dudes.
Thank you, homunculus. Raw rolls on after this. Hold on, chat. I need to show you. While we're on ad break, I need to show you this. It's the thing that Zach sent me. Hot topic, huh? Yeah, this fucking cover gets me hot, alright. Gets me... ooh, heated. Ooh, heated. Look at this. Look at this shit. Are you seeing this? This whole cover is a lie in and of itself. A complete misrepresentation of what this character is meant to be. Also, this is the WCW television title. Hulk Hogan would never want this. He only wants the world title, brother. Nothing more, nothing less. You give him anything else and he's... and he'll walk backstage and he'll be like, that doesn't work for me, brother. That doesn't work for me. But you know who will have it? Scott Steiner. In 1999, for some reason. Because I've been watching Reliving the War on Wrestling Bios. And it essentially goes through like all of like... Sorry, I'm all of the Monday Night War. Oh, hey, welcome back to Raw, I think. There you go. Okay. I don't know why Mom was bullying me there. That was a little unkind of her. Let's see. Momentum rate increases the amount of momentum you earn because I need more of that. Kip up. Press circle instead to get up normally. Being slammed to the ground. Oh, okay. AJ doesn't know about Hulk Hogan, the person. Sad. No, she doesn't. She is not a wrestling insider, or at least she isn't, like, in the know. Like most other fans are. She isn't in the know. You gotta feel for her. She doesn't know what she's signing up for, chat. She has no clue what she's in for. I've not had Tex-Mex in a long time, though. That sounds good. Does she know? No, she very clearly does not know. Otherwise, she wouldn't be doing this. Wait, what else can we do? Press conference? Nah, I don't really need that. If anything, I could probably do another workout. Intense workout. Let's go. Guerra's getting ready for the world title, baby. He's ready to grab the world by the balls once again. Springboard attack buff. Yeah. Go to Dynamite. Alright, Lance Archer.
The following contest is an unsanctioned lights out.
Ah, buddy, here we go. This will be one hell of a singles match.
Making his way to the ring, Hell.
Ah, hip hip hooray, buddy. Hip hip fucking hooray.
And his opponent, the Murder Hawk monster, Lance Archer.
But you know what? I don't think that Applejack would listen anyways. I don't think that she's that kind of wrestler. I don't think... What the hell? Hey. Nah. Fuck you. Hey. No. Hey, you. No. Take the bump. No. No. Ow. Okay. Hold on. I can just imagine that, like... I can imagine that, like... that, like, Applejack is just, like, a fan in denial. Like, she doesn't want to have to admit that, like, Hulk Hogan isn't what she wants him to be. And so she just kind of lives with that knowledge. Wait. Wait. Thumbtacks, buddy. We gotta get the thumbtacks. Thumbtacks? Oh, yeah, no! No, thumbtacks! Thumbtacks! No, ow! Damn it. No. There you go. Aw, dude, Guerra's ready. He's ready. Is he ready? Is he ready? Pour him out. Pour him out. Pour him out, Gira. Do the spot. Oh, you know what? I'll keep pressing the buttons until it happens. Can I do it? I mean, I know I can. I've literally done it before. Hold on a second. No, I'm pretty... Oh, hey. Hey. Ah, dang it. Oh, fuck. What would be the favorite wrestlers for all the main six, though? Like, we already know that for some reason, Hogan is the favorite for Applejack. I did not realize that you could, like, injure yourself. Hold on. There you go. I'll keep doing this until I figure it out. Okay, there you go. I just need to press it again. I'm an idiot. Alright. Now, we're cooking with gas. Now we're cooking. Let me cook, chat.
Hello,
Let me
Mario.
cook. Isn't it an illegal move to kick the nuts? That's what you're asking after I just laid down thumbtacks? Get outside the ring. Would Peaky's favorite be Danhausen? I know that Flourish's favorite would probably be Sting. Probably just because of the Crow stuff. Oh, yeah, dude. Fuck yeah. Well, I mean in real wrestling. Holy shit, indeed. No. No. Listen. Pinkie Pie's favorite would be Bailey. Pre-Karenification. In most contexts, yes. Yes, kicking your opponent in the balls is an illegal maneuver. Fuck yeah, dude. No. Okay. I literally thought he was gonna suplex me into the tax. No, get up! And that's the finish. 1, 2, 3. Cool. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy, we fucking did it. But no, Pinky's favorite would probably be Bailey before she turned heel. After that, she just left wrestling. After that, she would be done with wrestling. And she would just pretend that Bailey was still a face. Oh man, dude, we got so much out of that. We got so much out of that match. It's like, what even is our world title match at this point? What is the world title match at this point, though? Ow! That's not where the... It's not the world title match. Sightseeing. Yeah, sightseeing. Spike's favorite would be any good, strong, big guy because he wants to be like them. I love your son. His favorite would probably be Luchasaurus. Fluttershy's would be Crow Sting, but not because of anything about Sting. She just likes the crow. For some reason, Rainbow Dash and Kenny Omega makes sense to me. It just does. I don't know why. No, you know what would be funny? If Pinkie Pie's favorite wrestler was like Orange Cassidy. I think that would be the funniest thing in the world. Just the complete polar opposite of her in every sense of the word. Was thinking the same thing about RD. I wanted to say CM Punk. But that's only if she's able to, like, disconnect from Punk's bullshit, right? And that's hard to sort of do. Western Wrestling Federation ran by Vince McMahon. Oh my god, Dan, don't put ideas in my head. Because you know I'll do that. You know I will fucking create that, and I will, like, simulate a card. You eat the gator tail, Gira? Yeah, I did. A little chewy, but not bad. I'm not a fan of eating alligator, but I would definitely wrestle one. That would be an epic coffin drop. It's one weird guy. Cool. Cool, okay. We don't want to be injured before our next match. And Vince McMahon would challenge Celestia to a dance. What? What, like Vince did to God? I'm gonna need an MLP wrestling game, not gonna lie. RD would be on Punk's side because she would also beat people up that... Aw, come on. Don't be like that to Rainbow. Rainbow wouldn't do that. I don't think that she would, like, beat people up, but I think that she would be, like, easy to aggravate like Punk is. Concentrate curls are great because they help you win the world title after you have another bout of amnesia. I don't know, I just really enjoy the idea. Oh hey, Sammy Guevara. See you at dark? What do you mean dark? No, we're not. I'm going to my world title match. Rainbow about to go into business for herself. I just imagine, like, I imagine Rainbow Dash just like gets released and Fluttershy comes out like fucking Cash Wheeler did on on the collision afterwards. And does like a signature Rainbow Dash gesture. Which, like, what would a signature Rainbow Dash gesture be? Like, would it be one of her meme faces? I'd imagine. Because there are like 10,000 Rainbow Dash meme faces. I remember seeing a t-shirt as the Young Bucks, but was G4 ponies. You know what? I think I've seen that too. Fan-made obs. But yeah. Chain wrestling. How do you even get into chain wrestling, though? I genuinely don't know how you're supposed to do it. Alright, grapple power. Now then. Let's make it normal for our title match.
Nothing beats a
Cool, refreshing sip of water. You bet. You still have slots left on your thing. Sure do. Talk show. Good morning. AEW wrestler Longboy Gira has joined us. I hear you have a big match coming up. The biggest. I'm wrestling for the inaugural AEW World Championship. There are a few chances to become the first at anything. That wasn't you. That was Moxley, I think. AEW has strong ties to Jacksonville, so it's only right that we crown our first champion here. That's... Don't encourage him. Is no one gonna bring Gira back down to earth? That would be really fun. Yeah, that'd be fun. What would Rarities... No, it's Dalton Castle. Dalton Castle would be her favorite, dude. And she'd feel really lonely because she'd be like one of 10 die-hard Dalton Castle fans. They're a rare breed. Even though Dalton Castle's great, they're a rare breed. I'm gonna need Twilight to be the mouthpiece for Fluttershy because I know she would get stage fright during her promos. No. She...
We will finally crown our first AEW World Champion.
She has to be like Brock Lesnar, right?
This bout is
all right.
one fall.
What's it for, though? Nothing?
Making his way
nothing. It's for nothing, chat. But we all know that's wrong. We all know that Gira's focused. He's ready. He may think that this is his first time, but this is actually his, like, third time. This is his third time. But it's fine. He's got this. He's got this more than he's ever had anything in his life. No. Listen. Trixie has to be a mouthpiece for somebody, though. She is such a heat magnet. She has to be either a heel or someone's mouthpiece. Either way, the more mic time she has, the more popular she'll get. But she needs to have that mic time. Either way, yeah, Fluttershy would need a mouthpiece. Since Fluttershy is a book nerd, she would also like the popular ones. Ones like Cena just to try to fit in. I think she would also like Kenny Omega just for, like, the way that he, like, sort of does, like, storytelling things in his matches. Or rather, like, I think that she would just, like... Sorry, or rather, she'd really appreciate just the entirety of the Elite faction. Because their whole thing is about, like, drama between friends. And after every episode, and after every episode, she would, like, just write something to, like, Princess Celestia talking about that particular episode of Dynamite. And eventually Celestia would be like, for the 50th time, I'm not going to watch Dynamite with you. I'm sorry. Dear Twilight, my faithful student, I'm sorry, but I don't get the appeal. Although secretly we all know that she's a huge mark. We all know that her favorite's Danhausen. Oh no, she would absolutely, she would adore The Undertaker. So how do you initiate chain wrestling, though? Grapple guard, strikes, Ooh, 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 nice. She would actually really enjoy The Undertaker, though. Neckbreaker! And that's how you win. No! Ow! No! No, 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 no! 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 No, chat! Chat, no! Not like this! Not like this! Okay, okay. Man, my man did a low blow in broad daylight. Jericho knows how much this means to Gira, even though Gira doesn't know it himself. Yeah, baby! What a shit show. We did it! AEW champion, baby! That makes Gira a four-time world champion of 4 different things. Of 4 different things. WWE, Universal, Long Boy Club Wrestling, and now All Elite Wrestling World Champion. Let's fucking go, chat. Hip, hip, or fucking Ray. Do 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 do. Best timeline.
Takes on Jericho, pin him right now, Adam.
No, 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 no. Can't do it. Today is an historic day as Longboy Gira begins his reign as the first ever AEW World Champion. Khan, why are you doing this to him? Are you a sadist? He'll carry the AEW flag into the future, and I'm sure will represent us like a true champion. I'm taking this to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Maybe I'll go back to WWE. Hey, Robert Roode, how you doing? So wait, So wait, do we have another match? Oh, wait, hold on. Wait, what's the storyline we're on? No, don't tell me we're on this shit again. No, come on. This sucks. I don't like this one. Well, hey, cool. We are the AEW World Champion, I guess, now. Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! Even the game doesn't remember when we won the world title last time. The game is lying to Gira. The AEW audience is lying to Gira. The people who work at AEW are lying to Gira. Everyone betray him. We're fed up with this world. Everybody betray him. Well, it doesn't matter because he is the world champion and the numbers don't lie. And they spell disaster for anyone who's coming up to him to take this world title from him. Luna fighting her innermost subconscious, trying to piece together what in Equestria an Irish whip is. You know, I think that she would be confused, but also I think that like the moment that you show her a match, it all just clicks. And she's instantly just like, I love this to death. The fun's been tripled now. Oh yeah, you thought we stopped that double? Oh no. No way. No way. Now we're tripling that shit. We'll fucking quadruple at the moment that we give her Danhausen. Yeah, I can see Luna loving it immediately. Just like how she really loved the Spider Toss game. She would 100% just like be like, yes. This here is now my entire personality. This is my whole personality now. Who else do we have in chat right now, by the way? We have Zach, we have Mech, we have Hateable Vermin, we have Sax right now. Thank you all very much for hanging out tonight. It's been very, very fun. It's been very, very fun and very, very cool. I really, really appreciate it. Luna watches it before she does her fucking job at night. Yeah, she fucking keeps tabs on everything that happens. And while at the corner of her eye while she's watching through the night. Wait.
It's time for a 90 seconds Cheetos break, my dudes.
Alright, well, Raw rolls on after this then. Hold on. But no, just like out the corner of her eye, she also just sees, she sees, main event. But specifically my version of main event. In where like, the Knight is the Intercontinental Champion, and he just defends every single week, no matter what. Wait, did I not buy this last time? Okay, well, there you go. I bought it this time. I bought it this time. Also, by the way, chat, I do intend on going the whole 9 yards with this. I will do everything in my power to get all the belts, if I can. Or at the very least, just kind of see like what it's like to be the world champion in this game. Man, I have a lot of money. Skill point booster. Increase the amount of skill points you earn in a week. Well, that would be, oh, hey, welcome back to Raw. Well, that would be kind of neat. I don't know, man. This is heel Gira. He's not really workhorse right now, you know? He has a, fuck you, I got mine sort of mentality going on right now. He's not going on Dark, he's not going on Rampage. He's showing up to work, he's beating dudes up, and then he goes home. He knows that, like, as the world champion, Dark and Rampage are below his pay grade.
The following contest is set for one fall.
So hold on a sec. Are we back in, like, the Pinnacle story here?
And his opponent.
I would really, really like to not be back in this. What the hell? No! Ow! What the hell, Warlow? You're just shrugging it off now. Fine, you know. No! Ow. Ooh! No, 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 no! Why is he so... Why the hell is he so strong now? He was a fucking piece of cake back in the Battle Royal. Ow. What happened here? Nah, baby, there you go. Holy shit. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Let's go. Whew. Okay. No, I could definitely see, like, Luna just be completely enamored with it. She's just, like, watching over the night and, like, in her, like, iPhone in the corner of her eye. She's just, like, watching main event because she's that fucking invested. She's into everything. She watches main event. She watches Progress. She watches Saturday Morning Slam. She's into all that shit. She's a big fan of, like, Daniel Bryan's bear commentary. She just loves hearing Bryan Danielson talk about bears for, like, a solid 30 minutes on her, like, a DVR'd episode of Saturday Morning Slam. Oh no, no! Ah, it's fine. I've softened up Warlow. No, what the f- No, I didn't. No. No. I am not trying to focus on MJF. I'm not trying to focus on MJF. All I'm trying to do is do this. There you go. There you go. Cool. Okay. Nice. Get sent back to oh fuck. Let's say get sent back to fucking OVW. I'll submit you. Wait, can I submit him? Can I submit him? Right? Can I do it? Can I do it? You know what? And that's the finish. That's the finish, brother. 1, 2, 3. I just really love how, like, any of these moves can finish off the guys after a certain point. Like, it doesn't have to be anything special. It could just be, like, an arm drag. A real MJF versus Darby Allin type beat. As I gotta ask, would you consider... Would you consider playing Raid Shadow Legends? Ain't no way bro got pinned to an arm drag. Oh! Oh, wait, hold on. Wait. Huh? I don't remember doing this. Oh, wait, did we? I don't remember doing this storyline last time. Ain't no way bro got pinned to an arm drag. Well, he did. And that's why you don't see Warlow on TV anymore. I feel really bad for him, though. Oh, wait, what? This is better than Coach, am I right? For sure. Still not sure why you invited me, though. It seems Ray likes you, but I don't. Penta, he just screams a lot. You've got something to prove to all of us. Something to prove? You can team with any one of us on Dynamite. We'll see if you're actually Death Triangle material. You know what? I'll team with you. Since you gave me a lift, why don't I help you get a win on Dynamite? A sensible choice, to be sure. But know this, I don't like suck-ups. Alright, dude. You're exhausted from so much air travel. Dude, I was on a private jet. What are you talking about? Sure, why not? Sightseeing. But I do feel really bad for it. Oh, no. No. I'm not taking you on. I'm not taking you on, punk. You rubbed shoulders with greatness once before. The memory fractures are coming back. He remembers. He remembers how he wiped the floor with Punk. It's very, very strange to see Punk in this after after what happened. It's very strange to see him in this. Very, very strange. Anyways, dining. I accidentally made him a non-vegetarian. I accidentally made Gira a non-vegetarian, and that's just, and that's the cross I must bear for this playthrough. Let's just hope he doesn't eat giraffes. Nashville barbecue. There's a rub in Nashville. Good things come to those who wait. This plate of Nashville barbecue was slow roasted to perfection, covered in a lightly sweet and tangy sauce. In sauce. Oh, I love barbecue, dude. I love barbecue so much. I literally got some from like my old job here on my way home from work because I deserved it. After such a long and stressful day, I fucking deserved it. You know? I deserved it. And y'all deserve to have something nice this weekend, too. Hold on. No, one thing I really want to sort of do this weekend, just in terms of, like, content and stuff, is for one thing, I want to get all my VODs up on my VOD channel. But also, I want to give fresh Gitsy's a chance. Because right now, I'm thinking that Gitsy's a little stale. I'm thinking that like it's reached a point, right? It's reached a point of where we've seen everything. We've seen most of what it has to offer. And, it's time for a change up. It's time for a change up. And I think that we could do with a couple new ones. Maybe even a couple ones of our own. Even a couple ones of our own. Because I've been thinking about like a potential subathon, and I'm thinking that it would be really funny for like one of the goals to be we just create our own Gitsy video. Like I will literally write it here in stream with all ya. I'll record it. I'll crunch down the picture and crunch the audio a little bit too to make it authentic. And it would just be kind of our own little thing in the rotation. I think it would be fun. I think it would be really fun. I think it would be very personalized. And, yeah, I think it would be kind of neat. Let's see here. Intense training. Alright, our first tag team match in the playthrough. I'm gonna fucking lose my mind, I can already tell. I can already tell I'm gonna lose my mind, chat. This is gonna be something, alright. Let's hear it for Longboy Gira, folks. Wait, are we taking another photo with Stink? Yeah, we're taking another photo with Stink. Yes? Yeah. You can see every follicle of hair on him, dude. Now that's the long boy we all know and love. Yeah, once we're done with this match, we'll go ahead and take a small break.
Tag team match set for one fall.
Adrenaline in my soul. My brother is Dustin Rhodes. I am really hoping that doesn't get me claimed. Because, given how it's a WWE thing now, I'm really thinking that there's a good chance that it will. Yeah, baby! The fucking half-hearted moonsault. God, dude, a lot like of the wrestler models in this game are just like ripped to shreds. It's actually kind of crazy. Okay, how do I tag? Okay, yeah. That is oh, wait. Can I control? Oh, wait, hold on. You get back in the ring. You go and wrestle the match. I'm gonna talk with chat for a minute. Yeah, like I wanna get a couple of fresher Gitsies in there, maybe a couple funnier ones, because there are ones that are like better than the ones I have in there. What the hell? What do you want? You're not supposed to be in this match. You are not supposed to be in this match, Dustin. What the hell? Stop! Stop kicking my ass! Get out of here, Dustin. Yeah. Ow. Come on. There you go. There you go. Just toss him. Peak wrestling move. You'll love to see it. I mean, there's some I want to keep in there though for Gitsy. Like I want to keep the two Earthbound ones I have in there. Bart's Nightmare, for some reason, really holds a chord with me, so I think I'll keep that in there. The Virtual Boy. The Virtual Boy. How to. I think that is really funny. In a way that's like, how do you make it sound this complicated kind of way? Because I said before, but only George Wood could make setting up the Virtual Boy just sound like a massive fucking endeavor, you know? Only he could make it sound like the most complicated thing imaginable. Man, I squashed Cody Rhodes in AEW. Now that's something you don't see all too often. You don't see that one all too often, chat. Really just shows you how much they're willing to give back to the business. Last week, Ray Phoenix jumped in to help Longboy Gira. This week, that triangle's just outright assaulting Cody and Dustin Rhodes. Disgusting! The fuck is that? I'm just completely going into a different realm for fucking Jim Ross. I'm going into a completely different plane here with him. All right. I think we're good to take a short break here, chat. Like I said, we are going to be playing through the whole of this. Once again, probably no more times after that because, well, you know, we are the world champion. And for some reason, we're not being treated like the world champion. But, you know, that's just how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you win the belt and then they just forget you have the belt. You would think I'm the Intercontinental Champion in the 2010s. Nah. Fuck off with that. Anyways. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back in about like 8 minutes or so. Don't go anywhere, chat. We're going to do restaurant quality picture-in-picture. Stay right there. See you in a few. So, like, you know what my favorite thing about Twitch is? When the entire functionality of the site just completely breaks, and there's nothing you can really do about that. That's my favorite part of the Twitch experience. I love when the basic features, like delay ad, when it shows, or rather snooze ad, when it shows that you have a snooze function available, and run an ad doesn't work. Like, I will literally press it, and it just won't work. Give it another try later. My Border and Crust, I have a snooze available. Why won't you let me use it? I gotta, like, look out for that shit. I gotta look out for it in OBS. Otherwise I just won't be able to use it. But yeah, hi, welcome back, everyone. We're gonna continue on with this. Let's get going. Alright, we gotta dine. We gotta get our food on. Listen, the only thing we care about is defending our title. If you're not here to like discuss the greatness of Gira, then get on out of here. You're good, maybe. I'm the world champion. Of course I'm good. Why are you not treating Gira with the respect that he deserves? It's like everyone in this game just doesn't know who they're dealing with. Oh, hey, Trent. Why does Trent looks like a giant next to Gira? What? That's so weird. Snapshot album. Because I honestly kind of want to dance with death. Oh, we missed that one. Whatever, it's fine. Wait, this is already week 3? Wow. That's actually kind of incredible. That's actually incredible. I mean, I may as well just go into stats here. Hold on. Stats. Guardrail dive offense. Yeah. Finisher slots. I'm gonna go ahead and try this. Kick attack. Yes. Diving power, springboard power. I haven't even tried a springboard yet. Yeah, like, Gear is much faster than this. Gear is much faster. She's 96? What? That's actually nuts. That's nuts. At this point, she must be like, what? You know, like, retired at this point? Or is she still, like, in the... Is she still in the industry? By the way, we have a commercial coming up, and I couldn't skip it because Twitch wouldn't let me. Raw rolls on after this. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and just kind of do a mini game here. Long Boy Gira, just the player character we were waiting for. Yeah. Memory.
It's just a game, so take it easy.
DVDs. I sure do love the SpongeBob Lost in Time DVD, now available at Walmart. Remember the cars that scroll by. We had Top Flight.
It's time for 90 seconds. Cheaters break my dude.
We had Matt Hardy. Big Show. Ah, no, come on. That one would have been so easy if I just, like, paid attention. Best friends. I don't remember. Wardlow. Hook. Hook again. Hook 3 times. Which card was shown 3 times? Well, Could you remember that, Kenneth? Wait, Bobby Fish's likeness is in this game? I mean, folks, where's the lie? Where is the lie? Orange Cassidy, Abaddon, Nyla Rose, Lucha Bros, Thunder Rosa, Mox. Which card was shown 3 times? I mean, that was Nyla Rose and Vicky. It's just a game. Why you have to be mad? Because this game spat in my eye. Called me a stupid poop nose. Hey, welcome back to Raw. I did not earn 30. Also, did they model in the TNT Championship again, or is it like the actual BT, or rather BTE title now? And we'll just go to Dynamite. Actually, no. You know what? Workout. We have a pretty good loop going here. We're gonna keep it going. We're gonna keep this loop fucking going. So wait, do we have another photo here? No, we do not. Go to Dynamite. AEW Dynamite broadcast after commercial break. Oh, well, Death Triangle has them entered the ring. I'm not sure what they want, but I doubt we'll have to wait long to find out. We have kept our numbers small, but recently we've been readying someone for a Death Triangle membership. At what point? I mean, like, at that point, does it stop being Triangle? Because, like, you lose the try in it. At that point, it would be a quadrangle. These 3 usually get what they want. You rang, gentlemen? So what'll it be? Are you with us or against us? No. That Triangle is a strong faction, but how would I fit in? Would, would it have to become Death Square? That makes as much sense as the 5 Horsemen. So what are you saying? And think very carefully before you answer. I respect the 3 of you, but not the way you do business. I'm out. That's a mistake you'll regret for the rest of your life. All 1 week of it. Well, oh my god, Long Boy, you're just insulted Death Triangle. That's either very brave or very stupid. How will Pac, Penta, and Ray Phoenix retaliate? Can't believe that.
Is set for 1 fall.
I can't believe Ross is taking sides here.
Making his way to
You're choosing these jabronis over your world champion? Who's undefeated, unlike anyone else in this fucking company? Gear's mopped the floor with every single person that you've thrown in front of him. He's an absolute diamond. He's a complete diamond in an industry full of fool's gold. Observe. Nice. There you go. But no, like, is that... Is Rosemary Harris like still taking work? Or has she like, you know, retired from the industry at this point? So here's a question. Can we do this in 1 minute? At least 1 minute by the game's standards. Man, because if we can do that, I'll be so happy. 1 minute, 1 minute. No, it's not gonna be 1 minute. No! Fuck you. There you go. Okay, cool. There's the finish. No, really? How do I do a submission? Hold on a second. Ooh, nice. Okay, there you go. Now that's the finish. That's his new finisher. Alright, up again. Neckbreaker. Now that's the finish. That's a finish worthy of a world champion. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Now that's how you play. 4-star Gira, baby. Walking in there giving you all of Meltzer's stars in record time. Like a real champion. Love to see it. Despite the dust-up with that triangle, Gira maintained focus and won this hard-fought contest. What? Hey! Oh my god! There's the attack. It didn't take long for a Death Triangle to seek righteous retribution. This group is so deadly, so fucking dangerous. Righteous retribution? Okay. They really are the religion. Righteous retribution. The name of your new faction. So what snapshot can I get here? because I actually want to get these. I actually kind of want to get these. Restaurant. Okay. That's easy enough. Well, first, let's go out. Let's do the press conference, and then we'll go and get whatever sinful food that Gira's gonna have this week. His newfound love and taste for meat. I can't believe I instilled such toxic behavior into this man. How he's able to stick with it, who knows? But he has a warrior's heart for doing it. Alright, dining. Now here's where we're gonna get saddled up for a fucking picture, I guess. Geoduck. Not the prettiest creature in the ocean, but Geoduck is well cared for from hatchery to plate, where you too can sample its savory flavor yourself. Are we sure that's not just the name of like a Pokemon fusion thing? Look at you, cast out of Death Triangle, reduced to eating sea slugs. Yeah, and I'm really glad you brought it up. In another universe, you and I are breaking bread together in the Dark Order. Too bad life isn't some game you can replay for a different result. Isn't it though? Anyway, your consolation prize is a photo with me. Legendary. He's so fucking buffing this dude. No, we already went there. All we need is more muscles. We need more muscles. That way we can stick at the top of AEW, because that's what will get you there. It's a body business, brother. If you're not in the gym, you're out on the fucking street. That's just how it is. Anti-air defense? Nah, that doesn't really... Allows you to climb turnbuckles quickly, yeah. Sloth style. Strike proficiency. Unsportsmanlike. Successful grapple guards result in provoking the opponent instead of engaging in a lockup. You know what? Jumpstart. If these guys are gonna jump me, I'm gonna do the exact same thing to them. Exact same thing. Battle Royal timer buff. Explosion trigger. Weapon buff. Elimination buff. 2-for-1 attack buff. Tandem offense. Tag buff. A taunt buff. I'm doing taunt buff. Alright. Hopefully we don't get injured. Because... you know what that means! You know what, Excalibur, come to think of it, I've become a bit of a fan of giraffes myself. I don't know why. But I just feel the need to make that known.
Making his way to the ring.
Is that why you have a bunch of Gira plushes in your room, JR? How the hell did you get the key to my room? Yeah, baby. You know what? I'm gonna squash you on pay-per-view. I'm gonna squash you on pay-per-view, you British bastard. Ooh, there you go. No offense. Oh shit, that was offense. No! There you go. No! I should have known that you would be in this too. That's not fair. Referee, what are you doing? Stop this. What the hell are you doing, ref? Stop this. So wait, can I... For some reason, the music's really loud today on my end. Well, either way, I need something that's a little more, subdued right now. What the hell are you supposed to do here, though? I'm just getting pummeled! What do you do here? Ref, you can stop this! Why aren't you stopping it? Why aren't you stopping this, ref? Stop! No, ow! What the hell is that? Stop! It really is. No! Fuck you! Ow! Damn it! No, you are not. What the hell is this? You know what? What the hell? Fine, you know what? I don't care. Wait, can I please get a weapon then? I would like to get a weapon. I would like to get a weapon. I would like to get a weapon. I would like to get a weapon, please. Please and thank you. Fine, you know what? Fuck you, Rick Knox. You're doing nothing about this? Then I will. You're doing nothing about this blatant cheating? Then I will. That's right, just go ahead and time out your meter. What the hell? Yeah. Do not end it off on that. Fuck you. Neck breakers for all. What the heck? Fine. You know what? On the ground with you. Neck breaker. No, not the package! That's not fair, dude. That's so not fair. What are you doing there? Like, I literally chose the other option in the last time we played this. Man. I got jobbed out at Full Gear. And I got injured! And I got injured while I did it, chat.
That's as emotional as I've seen.
Nah. We can't be seen. Oh, yeah! You know what? This will be a fun one. This will be a fun one. The exploding barbed wire death match. Morning talk show in Toronto. We have two big stars from All Elite Wrestling here, Kenny Omega and Longboy Gira. Welcome, honored guests. Happy to be here. It feels great to be back in Canada. Now Kenny. AEW's big Revolution show is weeks away. I remember you had a wild match during 2021's Revolution, right? Yes, I beat Jon Moxley in what I called an exploding barbed wire death match to retain the AEW World Championship. But that's not the whole story, is it, Kenny? Excuse you? You and Mox had a chance to make history. You fizzled out, so I'm going to one-up you guys by competing in my own exploding barbed wire death match at Revolution. Oh, you think so? And where do you get off making that call? What does it matter? I just made it on live TV. So what? Gira's the booker now? You little punk, you don't go and try to show me up in my home country. Try? I just did. And your ass is still glued to that chair, not doing a damn... let's cut to commercial immediately. Well, you know, I have money. I have money, so I can just go ahead and heal my injury right now. And just like that, I'm good to go. I'm good to go for another week. So with this, we have the exploding barbed wire death match. Let's see what happens when I dine out. Yeah, chat, who all is still here with me right now? Who all still here with me? Make yourself known in chat so I know you're there. How much longer, I hope, of Poutine. I've been hearing so much about this lately. You know, it seems like a big old starch bomb, you know? I'm here, just got back. Welcome back, mech. I've never had Poutine. Again, it just kind of seems like a big old carb bomb. The Hockey Hall of Fame. No. I'm gonna sign the list of Jericho. It's about time, knowing you benefited me in some way. As a reward, I'll take a picture with you. Cool. I really did just make the list. I'm glad they kept that. That's fun. But no, I've been really thinking about playing more Ghost of Tsushima lately too. I've been getting just really invested in it. Like, there's so much to do in the game, and I almost don't want to go and save my uncle, because then that'll mean that the game will open up a lot more, and I will get... Oh, wait, hold on. Gotta charge controller. I'm literally playing it, like, a little bit ways away. Right now? Hold on a second. I'm gonna literally, like, move my setup a tiny bit. That way I can, still do my thing. Hold on. What the hell is this Gira music here? This literally just sounds like the music that he had in WWE. What? Hold on just a second, chat. I need to go and get a charger. I've returned with my Manscaped cable. Manscaped branded cable. It's good for your balls. I only buy Manscaped because I don't know of any other men hygiene stuff. Or at least I don't know of any off the top of my head besides like Philips and shit. Whatever. But no, like I don't want to progress more in Ghost of Tsushima because that'll mean that the game expands and I will get more overwhelmed by it. Because even though I like a lot of features in my games, I also don't at the same time because then that means that I have more things to consider. I don't want more things to consider. I wanna have fun. I wanna have fun. I don't know. And then after that I'll play Baldur's Gate 3 on my own finally. I've been playing it mostly with friends. But
the following contest is set for one fall.
It's him. It's the glass man.
Way to the ring. L.
L boy. It's the glass boy. Long boy versus jungle boy. Let's go. You know what, man? Fuck you and your glass. I don't need glass to beat you. And I sure as hell don't need whatever it is your new finisher is these days to beat you either. What the hell? Okay, I finally learned how to do chain wrestling. You just have to kind of grapple each other at the same time. It's a complete, like, thing of chance. Nice, nice. Nice combination offense. And then... What the hell? What the heck was that? And then... Some of this. Yep. And then a little bit of this. Hey! Ow! There you go. You're not gonna no-sell my shit. Hey, fuck you. Fuck you. Get back up. Take your neck breaker like a man. And then... Fuck you for using my finisher as a signature. That's not how the Savannah special works. Hey, no. Down on the floor. Down on the floor. No. Ow. Damn it. No. On the floor. I'm gonna pin you now. 1, 2. Ah, nah. Come on. Hmm. Cool.
1, 2.
You know, like, as I was kind of talking about, like, earlier in the stream,
1, 2.
I'm just, like, tiring him out at this point. Like I was saying, like, a little bit sooner in the stream, I have plans for a birthday stream. It's going to be mostly pony stuff, because I just I just really want a reason to feed the hyperfixation that is... Oh! That's now fresh in my mind once again after many long years. Nah! What the hell? Jungle Boy is like giving me a run for my money. I'm not even trying to do it for him. Right now I have a thing in my Discord server, right? And where people are meant to kind of post like old pony videos from back when like the show was at its peak. Because I just have a real urge to kind of go back to that content. Does it hold up? I honestly don't know. I don't remember a lot of it. Actually, no, that's a little bit of a lie. I remember quite a bit of it. I remember enough to like know some of the things that people have been posting. Like I know that one of the videos that was posted was "Friendship is Manly." Epic Pie Time, and Epic Cupcake Time, Smile HD. There's some other ones.
It's time for a 90 seconds Cheetos break, my dudes.
Alrighty, Rob rolls on after this. And in that time frame, I will finish off Jungle Boy. I am giving this boy a severe concussion. Smack dab in the center. No! In the center of the ring with you! I've already given you enough TV time. There you go. That's the finish. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Undefeated. Undefeated world champion. That no one acknowledges on TV for some reason. Why don't they acknowledge the championship on TV, dude? I'm literally your world champion. Why don't you acknowledge? Acknowledge me! Well, they won't do it. They won't fucking do it. Even though I try so hard to deliver for them. Try so hard to give them back. To give back to them, to the people. But they don't want it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it from Gira. All they see is a bumbling fool with amnesia that somehow has the world title in his possession. Well, it ain't for no reason. It's not for no reason. Hey, welcome back to Raw. Here we go. Look at all this. It pays to be at the top of the fucking mountain. It pays to be at the top of the mountain. But no, like, the whole thing is gonna be just a big excuse to feed the hyperfixation. So, like, we're gonna watch a bunch of old pony stuff. Then we are going to... I literally have it in my head. I am going to do a big old presentation on how much I love Hurricane Fluttershy and how it connects with me. And we're gonna create a new Pony OC. We're gonna be creating a new Pony OC after years of not having one, because I really only had one for like analysis and stuff. So I just kind of want to have one that I can kind of look at and be like, yes, I connect with this and I like this a lot. So that's what we're going to be doing. I also have a couple other things in mind, but frankly I need to just like decide on one or the other. I need to like decide on one or the other because oh hey. Hey God. Let's see if you can get it, bud.
Come on, let's go.
Ah!
Oh, you missed.
Funnily enough, you're only the second one this stream. But you
Hello, Mario.
But you still missed. How you doing? How are you doing tonight, God? Oh wait, I need to go sightseeing. Well, alright, but I need to do an intense training here real quick. I gotta do intense workouts here real quick. Lifting invisible bench press. Sightseeing. Let's see who I find. Oh yeah, buddy. This is pretty cool. The starting gate at the track in Kentucky, the home of the world's most famous horse race. For sure. I mean, it's not my favorite way to see horses, but there's a definite pedigree here. Pedigree. Good one. Kentucky's landscape is loaded with horse farms. That's cowboy shit, right? It definitely makes for a lot of horse shit, but to change the subject, let's get a pick before they stray saddles, rather that stray saddles us up. Is that what it said? There you go. Cool. I don't know why, I really want to get, like, all of these here. Ah, fried chicken. The birthplace of fried chicken is still the undisputed champion, despite the dish's worldwide popularity. You just can't beat the classics. I haven't had fried chicken in a long time, though. It's been a while. I usually either get, like, you know, a breaded chicken, which I suppose is fried chicken, but listen, it's different, okay? It's not the same thing. It's not the same thing at all. It's not the same thing. But no, if I get chicken, it's usually not, like, fried. Although, to be fair, would you consider wings fried chicken? Because, you know, you're putting the chicken in the fryer. And it has, like, breading on it and stuff. Wait, backstage at Dynamo... Whoa, holy crap. I surprised some people last week when I declared my intention to revive the exploding barbed wire deathmatch. I respect what Kenny and Moxley did in their match, but I want to top it in every way. Why else even enter the ring at that point? You need to stay in your lane, Gira. I literally built that match because I was the champ and I wanted to hurt Moxley. Which I did. I won. I put my pride, my life on the line in that match, but I'm still here. If anyone runs it back, it's me. We seem to be at an impasse, gents. So let's all compete in tonight's main event to see who gets to make what call. You know I'll be ready to go. Booking more matches? You're not an EVP. But if it means I can knock some sense into you, fine. They're just letting Gira walk around here and, like, book matches like he's Tony Khan.
Set for one fall.
You know what? Maybe last time did count. Maybe last time did count, because it just seems like wrestlers can just walk around here and they can make matches if they so choose. Like, why even have Tony Khan around to book things if you're not gonna, you know, enforce your own, like, code at all? Whoa! Holy crap! Moxley. Moxley out here breaking the laws of physics. Oh! Okay. But speaking of, like, you know, videos and stuff like that, you know what I've been getting into a lot more lately? I've been getting into, like, dank pods a lot more. Frankly, I've been kind of watching his stuff for, like, a few months now. But, like, recently, like, I've just been wanting to binge a lot of it. He has, like, a very unique kind of a presentation style, I would say. And he gets by just, like, on the sheer, like, excitement that he has for the things that he does. Like, especially looking at, like, old tech and stuff like that. Which is mostly what he does. Like, that's most of what he does. But just, like, kind of, seeing him, like, talk about, that kind of stuff. And, like, just see how stuff like that has sort of, deteriorated over time. It's a very, very fun, exercise, you know? Hey, no, Kenny, I need... Listen, man. You gotta work the match, brother. Fuck. No! What the hell? You're stepped between the ropes with two of the biggest stars in the company, and he's getting a little, stage fright. No, Kenny, kick out! Kick out! Okay, good. Okay. Okay, good. Good. Whew. You know what, Kenny? You can go ahead and do that real quick. Nah. No! No. You know what? I'm not gonna let you do that. I'm not gonna let you do it. I'm not gonna let you do it. I'm not gonna let you do it. Okay. Okay, good. Good. Great offense. Springboard. Okay, good. Phew. Oh my goodness gracious. But no, like, I've been getting into Dank Pod's content. And, like, one of the things that he usually does on his videos is that he'll blow up headphones that are, like, really cheap. like the fucking iFrogs that you buy at, like, Walmart for, like, $10. Stuff like that. He'll literally just put them through, like, amps, and they'll see if they blow up, like, with enough volume. And he recently got, like, something that's, that's, like, specifically meant for that sort of thing. From, like, one of his fans, right? His fans call it the Maraca Kraka 9000. And it has literally only one function, and that's to blow up old headphones. That's, like, all it's meant to do. And all it has is, like, an input jack for, like, an amp. It has multiple forms of output jacks, and it just has one knob. It has a volume knob, and that volume knob is only meant to go so high enough to just destroy headphones and nothing else. That's all it's meant to do, and it is a glorious device. It's a very funny device. And it's not something you can buy in stores. All you can really do is just hope someone makes something similar for you, because it was custom made just for the kind of shit that he does, and it's very, very funny. It's very, very cool. I like it a lot. You know, like, recently he, like, put together all of his videos in, like, giant compilations, and that stuff is just super bingeable. It's super, super bingeable. I love being able to, like, just sit down and watch someone's content for, like, hours on end and not even feel the time pass by. I don't really binge a lot of TV shows, but I binge a lot of, like, content stuff. When I have the time, at least. Because I don't always have the time. In fact, I rarely have the time. Or at least I don't give myself the time. So, yeah. I don't know, there's just something, like, really, really, really fun about watching someone get really excited about old tech and then proceed to just blow it the fuck up. And then just proceed to blow it up. Restaurant. Wait. Oh. Oh, I need to do sightseeing this week. Okay. In order to get the photo. What are some, like, really bingeable kind of content creators that you guys know of? Because for me, I would probably say that those are, like, Dank Pods, Doug. For me, I would probably say... Vine Sauce stuff. I really wish that, like, Joel posted more, though. Because his videos are some of the funniest, I think. But, c'est la vie. Alright, what we getting this week, lads? Chow down. Wait, Juicy Lucy. Sandwiching cheese inside the burger makes all the difference. How this bar food legend hasn't spread beyond Minnesota is anyone's guess. I've never had something like that, though. It sounds like it's the most American thing of all time, though, it sounds like. It sounds disgustingly American. Hey, I'm American, so... so if anything, it's perfect. If anything, it's perfect for me. I still cannot use snooze on Twitch. I can't even prep it here in fucking OBS, so thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it very much that your platform works and has absolutely no issues in it whatsoever. Really, really appreciate it. Also, I appreciate everyone that's still here this evening. I appreciate y'all. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, Mech. Thank you, Hable Vermin. Thank you, Virtually God. Thank you, Sax. Thank you, Weed Demon. I appreciate y'all. Lurking or not, I appreciate it very, very much. Alright. It's like, what are we even doing on Dynamite this week? I really hope y'all are at least enjoying yourselves a little bit on this Friday night. You could choose to be anywhere, but you're here instead, and I appreciate that. The only reason I have a loss is because the ref doesn't enforce their rules. Oh, Eddie Kingston. Nah, dude. You may be a double champ now, but that doesn't mean a damn thing to Gira. The only thing he cares about is breaking bones. And he'll break the bones of a bum like you any day. Ow. Damn it. Fuck. No, once we do the birthday stream, I'm probably gonna take about a week's break again, because, believe it or not, it's already coming up to that time of the month again, and where I take my week break that I said that I would do from now on. and I say that like I don't want to take it. I actually, do actually want to, be able to have that time to myself, because Because for a long time I would feel like really bad about taking it. And I'm trying not to. I'm trying not to feel bad about taking that sort of time because, well, you know, I'm about to be 24. And that's crazy to think about. It is incredibly crazy to think about. But it also just kind of makes me think, man, I want to be able to spend more time with people, you know? I want to spend more time, like, with friends and family as well. Alright, Kingston, I'm sorry, but I gotta send you back to the pay window, bud. 1, 2... What?! No way! You fucking jackass. Get down. That's not a rope break. That's not a freaking rope break, Mike. Rather, Rick. That is not a rope break, Rick. Okay. Fine, get in here. Arm drag. I'll finish you with the move I used to finish off Wardlow. 1, 2, 3. Get out of here. Get out of here, bud. Almost after the bell, then half and half suplex. Cool. He sure didn't do that. Almost seemed more interested in fighting Jon Moxley than the actual opponent of the match, Eddie Kingston. No. No, Gira's much more focused. Jon Moxley wanted to scout me tonight? So be it. He better scout a good emergency room next week in Chicago, too. Because I'm challenging him at Revolution to an exploding barbed wire death match. Somebody's gonna get hurt bad at Revolution, Moxley. I'll do everything in my power to make sure it isn't me. And there it is! Longboy Gira has called out Jon Moxley for Revolution. We're actually getting through this a lot quicker than I thought we would. I remember, like, the first time we played this, we were still going at this for like 7, 8 hours. Well, to be fair, I had to step out for like a couple of those hours, so, not so sure. Hold on a second. Sightseeing, AEW rant, no, I'm good. I'm good on that one, dude. It's not that I don't want to play the game, it's just I don't want to spend more time than other, like, I don't want to spend a big chunk of, stream. Rather, I don't want to, like, spend a whole bunch of time on it. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on it. That's a bit of a stink face there. Bit of a stink face there. Right into the pile. Right into the pile of all the other photos that I forget that I have on my phone. And that you forget to have on your phone too, chat. Because, let's face it, I feel like all of us have just a bunch of photos on our phone. And we've not really cleaned through them in a long time. For one reason or another. Like, I literally have photos in there from, like, years and years ago. Just, like, stuff I don't even think about anymore. And it's just sitting there. It's just sitting there rotting away on digital... in a digital wasteland. So, get in my belly. Oh, deep dish. Chicago deep dish. I've only had it a couple times. But... it's good. It's good. Let's just go to the pay-per-view. Let's just go to the pay-per-view.
Sunday night, and you know what that means. AEW Revolution coming to you live from Sold Out Chicago. Tonight,
I don't think it's ever been in Chicago, though, has it?
None, the most infamous, unpredictable match in AEW history. The exploding barbed wire death match.
By God.
The following contest is an exploding barbed wire death match.
I really, really hope that, like, the percentage wins out and we just get the sprinklers.
Making his way to the ring. And his opponent.
Because I'm pretty sure that there is a chance that you could just get that. Oh no. Okay. No, Mox. You're going in there. You're going in there. There you go. There you go. Let's go. Look at this brutality. Ah, fuck yeah. There is a lot of just primal... Yeah, nah. You're not winning this. Not by a long shot. Come on. Go through. Go through the table. Nah. No. I'm not here to do that shit. I'm here to make a man suffer. Get in there. I will listen. I'll admit there's a primal sense of enjoyment that you get from this, you know? Nice. Cool. So wait, can you like actually like go outside the ring? Because like they have shit set up, but it doesn't look like... Man! Wait, can I just pin him? I want to see if I can pin him. No, I can't! I can't! Wait, maybe... Hold on. Come on! Come on! I was about to say, you're not shrugging that shit off, bud. I just love how the explosions are so life-destroying. Just like audibly, they're so life-destroying. They would get up as if nothing happened. Just no-selling the whole gimmick. Love it. There you go. 1, 2... 3. Gira didn't go through a single bit of barbed wire that whole match. He didn't go through a single bit of it. Gira proved prophetic, not only winning the exploding barbed wire death match, but making it one for the ages. Really? That was the public evisceration of Jon Moxley. That was very, very, very embarrassing. Now that's what people think that deathmatch wrestling really is. They just think it's one guy just like shoving another dude into like just a bunch of dangerous stuff with no rhyme or reason. That exploding barbed wire deathmatch. Holy, you know the rest. We all knew it would be intense, but did anyone expect that? Huge props to Long Boy Gira for winning a grueling battle for the ages. Yeah, you bet, bud. You absolutely bet. Challenge yourself? What? Hold on. Hold on. What is the angle? What's the angle? What? Hold on. What? No. This can't be the same thing. No! I'm the world champion! Huh? What? No. Listen, I'm just You cannot tell me this is the same thing again. You cannot tell me that this is the same thing. I literally won the belt earlier. I won the belt earlier in this, man. You cannot tell me. You cannot tell me that this is the same thing that we've ended up in. It is! You act so virtuous. If you're such a hero, then you should have no problem taking on AEW's top. Oh, fuck me. There's nothing different about it at all, is there, Stev?
Making his way to the ring.
Alright, who am I facing?
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
Ah, nah, no. Come on. So wait, is this match no DQ? Come on. Taunt buff. I'll just lay you out with a few neck breakers and then head up to the fucking pay window. No! Ow! No! 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 There you go.
It's time for a 90 seconds Cheetos break, my dudes.
Raw rolls on. I think we're gonna raid after this match, though. I feel like I kind of know how it goes. It kind of... You know what? It depends. It depends on... It depends on what comes after this. Because if what comes after this is, it's the same thing, then nah, I'm good. I'm alright. Then I'm alright. Don't worry about it. Disrespect to the world champion. You see, Triple H would never do this to him. Triple H would never do this to Gira. He knows what he's worth. The absolute disrespect being shown to Gira cannot go unpunished. Fuck you. Ugh. No. Come on. No! Hey, no. Who are you? Hey, welcome back to Raw. Yeah. Nice. Woo! Hey. Nah. Wrestling move. Come on. Submission. Submission. Tap out. Nah, come on. Dang it. Come in here and take the Savannah special. Just like you did last year. A cricket bat? Nah. The only crickets you're getting are the ones at night when I put you down for the 3. Alright, submission, please. Submission, please. What? Oh yeah, that's right. We have multiple matches here. I forgot. Okay, well, you know, here. Oi, oi, all right, lads. All right, lads. 1, 2. Nah, that would have been so funny though. That would have been so hilarious if I just like came in. Or like if he just fucking came in. And the moment that he walks in. Yeah. Yeah, after this I'm pretty good. What the? No! Oh, no, he's gonna lock in the rings, isn't he? He's for sure gonna lock in the rings. Yep. Oh, wait, never mind. Never mind, I get... Ow! Damn it. Nice. Springboard! There you go. Springboard again. We're doing varied offense now. No. Nah. No. There you go. Holy shit. What is happening here? He's kicking my ass again. Oh, this time he's, you know what? Pac has never beaten him in a one-on-one contest, though. Pac has never beaten Gira in a one-on-one contest. It's always either had help from a Death Triangle, or he's come in after someone else has already started to fight him. Like, what kind of... Like, what exactly does that prove? That doesn't really prove anything. Now, does it? Man! Jeez! I'm getting the shit kicked out of me. 1, 2... Nah, whoa! Alright, well... You know what? With that, we need music. With that, we need the music. With that, we need the music. Okay, suddenly it doesn't seem as loud. Stop pinning me again! Ah, come on! Damn it. Head damage. Kicked in the midsection. What the hell? What? What the hell? I'm getting beaten from pillar to post. What? Cannot get any offense in. Ah, no, no way. LA Knight was going to be on tonight's SmackDown, but he COVID was supposed to be involved in the main event segment as well. Well, hopefully he gets better soon. That's really unfortunate. One. Yes! I gotta do one more. Right? Oh, is this heel Bucks? Yeah, like, I had to think about that for a sec, bud. Just take the Savannah special. Come on. Immediately! After a hard-fought match with Pac. After a hard-fought match with Pac, he fucking clutched it at the end. He clutched it at the end. 3 of the dirtiest players in the game, but perhaps the challenges are just starting. Why are we doing this after I've already won the championship? Isn't this whole bit here supposed to be like, well, you know, you have a title match coming up, and you're gonna fight through all these guys first. Is that not what's happening now? Yeah. This isn't really what I was hoping for it to be. I could just kind of, you know, I could just kind of keep it going, but I kind of feel like I know where things are headed, so I'm just gonna kind of... I think we'll call it there, chat. Thank you very much for hanging out with me tonight. We'll go ahead and rate someone tomorrow. This kind of seems like a... Kind of seems like a sleepy Saturday, unfortunately. But we'll go ahead and do it tomorrow. I will be primed and ready for some more WrestleQuest. It'll be really, really fun. I have a couple of ideas to make it a little more interesting. But yeah, I think I'm good on Fight Forever for a while. Until I play Stadium Stampede, which I've not played yet. Do people still play it? Do people still play Stadium Stampede? Or is that not really a thing now? Either way, the first time I try it will be on stream, and I will try to get some friends, wrangled up for something like that. But, until then, again, thank you all for hanging out with me this evening. Thank you very much for sort of, sticking around. And, and just, you know, kind of hanging. I'll see you all tomorrow. I'll see you all tomorrow for more WrestleQuest. Bye. You know what? It's gonna be good, because, Gira won the title, he finally did his legacy, and he's going back to WWE. Fuck this place.